What's up? Ghost Prodigy here, coming at you live from the depths of the Frenzied Flame as your new Frenzy Lord. Welcome to Dark Souls 2's Easy Mode playthrough. As someone with over 2,000 hours played in-game and multiple playthroughs under my belt, I felt the need to create a series in which I prove all the Dark Souls 2 haters wrong. On stuff like, gank fights are impossible. They're not. Dying in this game is too punishing. It's not, especially when compared to Dark Souls 3, where it's far more punishing to die. But I never hear anybody complain about that. Losing up to 30% HP compared to 5% in Dark Souls 2. ADP is the worst thing that ever happened. Now, while I do agree that ADP is no good, it's also not as bad or the monster that everybody seems to make it out to be. And I'm gonna prove that to you guys, because by the time we're done with the Forest of the Fallen Giants, this game's very first level, we're gonna be done leveling ADP and it won't be touched for the rest of the game, and we'll do just perfectly fine. Overall, going through how Dark Souls 2 is not as hard or that bad of a game as the majority of the Souls community makes it out to be. Listen guys, it's simple. Dark Souls 2 is not bad. You just suck at it. Now with that being said, I'm going to be going over the best starting class and gift selection, as well as how to best level up, I'm looking at you ADP, and how to best progress through each level of the game, including boss fights. All whilst also explaining how to effectively overcome and fully utilize this game's engine and mechanics. So starting off in the things Betwixt, there's really nothing to do here, honestly, except for getting the most important item in the game, which is going to be right here to the right immediately, you know, after that little corridor and next to these dirty little rats. Is going to be the most important item. What is it, you may ask? A rusty coin. And I'm kidding, that's honestly just fucking what I think. I just always like to pick it up. All it does is just boost your luck, which means that you know, you get more drop rates, and it's, you know, it's good to have when you're trying to farm something. Otherwise, it's really not hard to, you know, understand where the game wants you to go. It's right there, that big huge tree. I don't know how you could get lost in this area. I know, but I know that some people have. I have no idea how that even happens, because it's just so straightforward. It's right there. It's the only thing that's lit up. Go to the tree. But actually, if you want to be cheeky, you make a left through these bushes, ignore the giant footprints warning you of imminent death, and just go up this hill. Here you will encounter Shrek. And Shrek, he's not a very nice guy, but as long as he doesn't see you and you hide under his butthole, you'll be just fine. Just don't get caught by one of his swipes, because he will one-shot you. And then you just want to go ahead and grab this gold pine resin, which can be used to buff our weapon with electricity later on. For now, we just run through this little drawbridge and then make an immediate right through some more bushes and pick up another little cheeky item, the smooth and silky stones, which we will be putting to use within the next 10 minutes. Now, the only thing left to do is to go kill Shrek, but not quite yet, as we need to go and create our class, and to do that, we'll have to go in through this door. Here you encounter the meanest old ladies you've ever freaking seen. They're gonna laugh at you and make fun of how you basically you ain't shit and you're gonna die a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna be going too much into the lore implications, as so much as I'm gonna be making sure to guide you guys in the right direction and how to make your build and where to go. But I do enjoy the lore, and I'll maybe interject with you know, some of my own commentary on the lore here and there. I'll try not to do it too much, as I'm actually not really an expert on that, even though I really do like it though. Now we get to choose our name, and I'm going to be going with El Ghost Prods, just because I can, bitch. Which takes us directly into the creator class. Now, for the purposes of making this game a lot easier, there's really only a couple choices to be made here. Choosing between the warrior, knight, and bandit will provide you with a starting class with decent stat spread, that being vigor, stamina, strength, and dexterity, which will ultimately give you more options in terms of what weapons you can utilize and armor you can wear, with the rest of the starting classes providing you with less options for weapons and armor, as they are more casting focused, making them a lot harder to utilize in the beginning of the game and really build a solid build around them, with the exception of the sellsword, which does have high dex but has lower rating armor and is just a little bit harder to use than the rest compared to warrior or bandit class. The explorer class is geared more towards a more experienced player, providing you with really good starting items but not so much with armor or, again, a good variety of weapons to be utilizing in the beginning of the game. Do I really gotta say anything about Deprived? I mean, look at it, you got nothing. I went with the warrior just due to the fact that I like him aesthetically, and he does start off with a decent amount of strength and dexterity, which is going to help out a lot because I am going to be building a quality build in order to use it and showcase as many play styles and weapon combinations as possible in order to really show you guys all the different ways you guys can approach this game's levels and boss fights. For the gift, there really is only two options, that being the healing wares and the petrified something. I recommend going with the healing wares because it does provide you with a decent amount of life gems, a different way to heal other than the Estus Flask, and it gives you a good variety of small ones to big ones, which can help out a lot, especially for beginning players. I chose to petrify something as it is my favorite item to start off with because you could trade it in for the girls for a really cool item such as human effigies and life gems to upgrade material and even weapons. Every other gift being a waste because you can acquire all of those items in decent amount of quantities even before the first level of the game. Even the life ring, which can actually be obtained in the Forest of the Fallen Giants, the first level of the game. Leaving the bonfire aesthetic, which is honestly an item for more experienced players, as this allows you to take any area of the game into New Game Plus, essentially making the game harder. So I don't recommend that if you're trying to make this game easier. And with that out of the way, you can now go into the character creation menu where you can create your character and make him look as epic or as fugly as you want. I did go ahead and put a face tattoo on my face because it is 2025 and we're trying to look gangster up in this bitch. So after the old lady's making fun of you some more, we can finally start the game. And right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and take our revenge on these old hags by robbing their asses blind. We're going to go ahead and to the second floor and steal their treasure, which is actually not going to be a lot, and it's just a human effigy, which is an item that can be used to restore yourself back to human form and restore your HP bar, as every time you die, you do lose 5% of HP in this game, and this item nullifies it. We then go ahead and light the first bonfire and attack this crate viciously because it's ugly and we want the item behind it. The soul of a lost undead and a torch. Hot take, and I'm already starting, yes, Dark Souls 2 is better than Dark Souls 1 because right from the beginning of the game you are able to travel from bonfire to bonfire, something that Dark Souls 1 did not have and was a huge oversight, which is why every game after Dark Souls 2 allowed you to travel from bonfire to bonfire, grace to grace, lantern to lantern from the beginning of the game, unlike Dark Souls 1 where you had to go through 2/3 of the game before you were able to do that, and even then it didn't even allow you to travel from specific to specific bonfire, and it was only to whatever ones I guess the game thought were important. That's check number one as to why Dark Souls 2 is already better than Dark Souls 1. Now for the rest of the things betwixt around here, I like to go through it and just take out all the little enemies around here because of XP. Obviously we want souls to level up, and you know, taking out these enemies is pretty easy XP in the beginning of the game, as well as there's some items you can pick up here like this little dagger, which is going to be way better than the broken straight sword in my opinion, at least in my hands, if you do go with the warrior. It's honestly a good replacement for the broken straight sword because it does a lot of DPS. Even though it's a smaller weapon, you are able to dish out damage way faster than you would with the broken straight sword. This area of the game also does have these tombstones, which just give you the breakdown of what each button does in the game. Next up is a super hard, devastating gank fight with an enemy shooting you in the back and another one with a really fast weapon. Oh my god, it's so freaking hard, except no, it's not. I mean, look at it, it's super freaking easy. Just take out that little guy, and this bow guy can be a little bit annoying, but honestly he's easily disposed of. And here is my favorite fogwell of the game. Why, you say? but because it takes you up here, and what is up here? The bird's nest. And the bird's nest, well, before we get into that, kick down the ladder. That way you can get up here faster. What the bird's nest allows you to do is to trade items with it. And the items you can trade are the smooth and silky stone, which I picked up earlier. You can want to pick leave, and it'll give you a randomized item. This time I got an amber herb. No, not that amber herb. But also you can trade the petrified something for better items. And in this time, I wound up getting some twinkling titanite, which is some really rare and good upgrade material for boss weapons or just specialty weapons in general, and is why I always choose the petrified something. You can go ahead and get this item over here before you go down to the ladder. It is a soul, which means free XP without having to kill anything. Okay, you need to be careful in this area because it is platforming, and we all know how good platforming is in every single Souls game. It's terrible. So you can easily fall down and die, which is fine. Dying in this game it's okay, man. Like, don't freaking worry too much about it. Like, I'm planting that seed right in the beginning of the game. You're gonna die, dude, and it's okay. Like, I can't guarantee you guys I'm not gonna die, because I probably am, especially with this jump coming through, which is a little hard of a jump to make, but I think it's honestly worth it. So you're gonna want to hold circle and press R stick in order to jump. I know the jumping mechanics in these old games kind of suck. Elden Ring did do it better. Regardless, you get another amber herb. I just like, oh my god, which is an item that is actually pretty useless, and I should have never made that jump. It's an item that replenishes spell usage, which I am not going to be using anytime soon. Go ahead, jump back, climb this ladder all the way up, and then try and perform a plunge attack by just simply walking off the ledge and pressing R1. I did heal up a little bit with life gem so that I wouldn't die. I honestly thought I would do way more damage, but I didn't. And here's another little gank fight. Super easy. The game from the beginning is already training you to fight multiple enemies at once, because yes, you are gonna have to do that a lot in this game. But don't worry, guys, it's not as bad as everybody else makes it seem. It really isn't. Once you've made it through this second little area, you want to go ahead and go through this fog wall, and we're pretty much done with this area. There is a lot more to do, but we just can't do it right now. We're gonna have to come back later in the game, because there is a key item that we need in order to unlock the rest of the area. So from now, you know, just go ahead, jump down, and go ahead and follow the beaten path forward on to probably the most beautiful place in all of Soulsborne and Souls-likes. Like, it's just home, honestly. This place is just so freaking beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. Yes, it is Majula. Yes, it's where my Elden Ring PvP character gets his name from, Sam the Majula. And only cheeky bastards who are cool as fuck know that reference. And of course the music. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and take a hard left, pick up this Divine Blessing, which is a one-time heal. Pretty good. And then go follow the wall to the left and come through this, I don't know, like cave? I don't even know what it is. It's like a cave through some ruins. And we're gonna go ahead and pick up another item over here, sitting right next to a big giant blue sword, which you can just ignore for right now and go pick up these 3 life gems and 3 homeward bones. So homeward bone being one of the key items you could have chosen as your gift. You can go ahead and exhaust Benhart's dialogue here, as you're gonna need to anyways. Otherwise, there's really nothing else to do here except for just getting a little bit of the story going with this guy, and that's pretty much it. He's telling you that there is a petrified statue, which there is all over there, or I guess a person, and we need a key item in order to unpetrify them, which we don't have, and it's an area that we will have to come back to later. For now, it's back to Majula, back to where the heart is found, and that is Majula. And then, once we enter it, we can hear the magical bliss that is Majula's theme. It's just so heartwarming, so fulfilling, with those sun rays and the water, so peaceful. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and jump off this ledge and pick up our starting weapon. Be sure not to fall off here because it's super easy to fall off. Just like walk off, and we're gonna pick up the Morning Star and the Cleric's Chime. We don't need the Cleric's Chime, although we can use it for healing spells, but not quite yet. Pick up the binoculars because it's what you use to aim spells in this game. I know it's kind of weird. But now we have the Morning Star, which is a mace weapon, and it's gonna come very handy. So after lighting Majula's bonfire, you want to rest at it so that if we happen to die, we respawn back at this area. And now there's going to be a couple of items you're going to want to pick up right from the beginning. Head over to this little shed, and over on the far right side, we're going to go ahead and pick up another soul of a nameless soldier, which again is free XP. And then we're going to go ahead and run towards this tent over here. Not the big one, but the small one up in front. And pick up another item. A life gem, and life gems are gonna be the best way to heal in this game, obviously, besides the Estus shards, which you can come over here, whack this rock, and get another one. Yes sir, we're gonna be starting off with 2 Estus flasks right from the beginning of the game. More healing, less dying. These pigs over here can be real fucking assholes, honestly. They have quite a lot of HP for being tiny little piglets, and can actually kill you just like anything else in this freaking game. We're then gonna go ahead and go to the homie, whatever his name is, go up to his room and rob him blind as well. And this time he's going to have a Titan shard, which is an item that can be used to upgrade any equipment on our character, including weapons, shields, and armor, because yes, you can upgrade armor in this game, something that no other Souls games has, and I don't understand why. That was such a good mechanic, because it helped out so much. And now we can go ahead and finally talk to Bay, Lee Emerald Herald, the best firekeeper in the whole entire trilogy. Go ahead and skip all her dialogue. It's not like you weren't going to anyway. It doesn't freaking matter. She's just here telling you that she's gonna help you out through your journey and make it a lot easier, you know, by providing you with an Estus flask, which will allow you to heal. I think I mentioned that already. And of course, level you up and make you stronger. Go ahead and upgrade your Estus flask so that you have 2 now, because you do have to give it the shard, which then she turns into flasks, and then we can go ahead and level up. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and pop the free souls that we managed to get, so that we have as much XP as possible in order to level up. 1800 XP. Alright, let's see. What can we do with 1800 XP? What are we gonna do? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and invest it in ADP. Yes, baby, ADP. ADP is the first and only stat we're gonna be upgrading, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it is the best stat to upgrade. Why? Because updating ADP increases your invulnerability frames, your II frames, and the speed at which you heal. All very crucial things for these games, which is why it's technically the best stat in the game. And I know that all of you Dark Souls 2 haters hate that you have to level up this stat. And I do agree that it's kind of stupid that they kind of broke that off away from stamina. It doesn't make any sense. But look guys, as long as you level that stat up to at least 20, you will never have to level it up again. Unless you really want to, and then you can do it up to 25, but I recommend 25, like just stopping right there, as it soft caps at 25. And honestly guys, leveling up in this game is so much easier than the rest of the Souls games, that putting 15 levels in the beginning of the game into ADP is really not going to cost you all that much, because usually people end up passing this game way into the high hundreds, and honestly 15 levels at the beginning of the game is really nothing, trust me. Okay, so up this hill is a monument which allows you to join the Covenant of Champions, and I recommend that you don't do that, because if you do, the game gets incredibly harder. Just ignore it and pick up the 5 homeward bones and go on about your merry way and forget this place even exists. Because if you join that Covenant, you will truly know the pain that is Dark Souls 2, and that will be all your fault. Now where was I? Something about ADP, right? ADP is just not that bad, dude. Just level it up straight from the beginning. That way for the rest of the game, you don't have to worry about it, okay? So what I'm doing here now is just coming down here and getting this little shield Parma, the red Parma or something like that. I honestly always confuse the shield with the one from Dark Souls 3, which is infused with Blessed and heals you. Yeah, I think it's because it's the same shield, except this one's just not infused with that, so it doesn't heal you. Regardless, still a neat little cool shield. I really like the design of this shield. It just looks so cool. It reminds me like a Viking shield, and I love it. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and run off and open the gate by pulling this freaking lever. Yes, I fucking hate that lever. The first time I played this freaking game, I got stuck here because I didn't know how to open this door, because that lever is so freaking hidden, like it's almost invisible. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and pick up another Soul of a Lost Undead. Fuck that broken straight sword, we don't fucking need that shit. And then we're gonna go ahead and head into what quite possibly is the most beautiful area of the game, Heide's Tower of Flame. Go ahead and ignore this guy to the left. Do not mess with him. I mean, you know what, do as you will. I'm gonna go ahead and just take in the view at first, run down this little broken path and make a hard right to the bonfire and rest at it. This way, this bonfire is already lit, and when I want to come back here, I could just travel immediately from the beginning of the game, unlike Dark Souls 1, which doesn't allow you to do that, and instead it would make you walk all the way back. Anyways, back to Majula, and now we can get started. So I'm gonna equip my Morning Star, which is a mace, and we're gonna head down to the left to the Forest of the Fallen Giants. Now, why am I using Morning Star? The reason why is because it is a mace and it does strike damage, and all the enemies coming up are gonna be weak to strike damage. We're gonna go ahead and grab this chest, which I honestly forgot what it even freaking is. What is it? A rusty coin. Oh, hello, the best item in the game. Again, awesome. Anyways, the Morning Star actually also does have bleed, which can come in handy, you know, by bleeding out your opponents and, you know, giving you some really good DPS. Otherwise, like I said, every single enemy in the game that has armor, which is basically knights, are all weak to strike damage, and which is why a mace is going to be your best friend against them, and why I chose the Morning Star. Then, just because I also think it looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, a fucking ball with a bunch of fucking spikes at the end of it, like, bro, I would not want to get hit by that. Like, we're then going to go ahead and take a hard left here, go down this wooden plank, and pick up this item in this chest over here. And then we're going to be preparing ourselves to go into the Forest of the Fallen Giants, where we are going to be discussing more about this game's engine and combat mechanics. I'm also going to be showing you how to defeat Shrek here shortly, as soon as we step into the Forest of the Fallen Giants. But that is going to be on the next episode, guys, so stay tuned. Remember to leave a like on the video, comment anything down below, especially if you hate Dark Souls 2. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.